Hey, Falcons fans! There's been a lot happening in Atlanta that we need to dive into, so let's jump right into the news. Everything changed on August 9th. What was supposed to be an exciting start to a promising rookie season for Bralen Trice quickly turned into a nightmare. The Atlanta Falcons' third-round pick from Washington had been making waves during OTAs and training camp, earning reps with both the first and second defensive units. Coaches were thrilled. He wasn't just another rookie, he was fighting for real playing time in a position group that desperately needed some spark. But then came the preseason opener against the Miami Dolphins. One awkward movement, a high-pitched cry of pain, and suddenly Trice was on the ground rolling on the turf. Coaches rushed to his side and fans held their breath. Just like that, the hope for a revitalized pass rush took a devastating blow. 2 days later, it was confirmed. A torn ACL. Trice's season was over before it even began, leaving fans with more questions than answers. The fallout didn't stop there. In what felt like a panic move, the Falcons traded a 2025 third-round draft pick to New England for Matthew Judon, a four-time Pro Bowler who was expected to bring stability to the defense. Unfortunately, he didn't deliver. Despite playing all 17 games, Judon finished the season with just 5.5 sacks, far below his usual performance. This left fans wondering, was Trice's injury the moment everything started to fall apart? Coach Raheem Morris later acknowledged that it was indeed a turning point. Speaking openly at the NFL owners' meetings in Palm Beach, he described Trice's injury as a moment that forced the team to rethink its entire strategy. That was one of the moments that really made us make different decisions and go different ways, Morris said. The disappointment was clear. He had high hopes for Trice, even comparing the rookie's potential to Judon's. That's not a light comparison. It's a bold statement that has fans questioning just how much Trice could have contributed if given the chance. Here's where it gets intriguing. Despite never playing a regular season snap in 2024, the Falcons are still counting on Trice. That's right. This offseason, Raheem Morris has been vocal about his confidence in what the 24-year-old can bring. We're really confident in what Trice was doing, he said, referring to the preseason and OTA work before the injury. We were really excited to see him on the field in the regular season. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see that. Now consider this. Atlanta's pass rush in 2024 was among the worst in the league, finishing second to last in sacks with just 31. A staggering 21 of those came during a late-season surge. Imagine if Trice had been part of that equation all year. Could that number have been higher? Could the season have looked different? It's unfair to place all the blame on a rookie, but Trice had an impressive final year at Washington, recording 7 sacks, 11.5 tackles for loss, and 53 pressures. That's some serious production. Transitioning to the NFL is no easy feat, and expectations need to be managed carefully. However, when the Falcons review the tape, they can't help but feel they missed out on something special with Bralen Trice. The flashes of talent he displayed during training camp, along with his energy and relentless motor, left a lasting impression. And they're not alone in feeling this way. The rest of Atlanta's rookie defensive line class didn't help ease the disappointment either. Second-round pick Rook Oruroro struggled with injuries, finishing the season with just 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 quarterback hit over 8 games. Meanwhile, fourth-rounder Brandon Dorris barely saw the field, playing in only 2 games and recording 3 tackles. It was a developmental year for the entire group, leaving fans with more questions than answers. Yet Coach Raheem Morris remains optimistic. I really have confidence in all those guys, he said. You make your biggest jumps in your second year, and I'm really looking forward to that. For fans, this cautious optimism is familiar, but this time there's a sense that something feels different. Perhaps it's because Trice isn't just focused on rehabbing. He's also building a new life. He married his longtime girlfriend Ariana, a former athlete from Washington, in March. This fresh chapter off the field speaks to the stability and maturity he's bringing into 2025. Trice will rejoin the team when off-season programs kick off on April 22nd, and according to Morris, he's one of the key players they're counting on. He won't be alone either. The Falcons have brought in reinforcements, including veteran Leonard Floyd to bolster the pass rush, safety Jordan Fuller to replace Justin Simmons, and Divine Diablo at linebacker. It's a retooling effort, but through it all, Morris keeps emphasizing the importance of the second-year class, where the hidden strength lies, with Trice at the center of it. Now, the big question is, what happens if Trice delivers? If he becomes the player the Falcons envisioned before his injury, and if he plays anywhere near the level they hoped Judon would bring, it could completely transform Atlanta's defense, not just for this season, but for the future. So Falcons Nation, do you believe Bralen Trice can bounce back and become the game changer this defense needs? Or do you think the front office should continue searching for more proven pass rushers? Drop a comment below. While Trice's return is a significant storyline for the Falcons' 2025 campaign, it might just be one piece of a much larger puzzle forming behind the scenes. There's a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape Atlanta's defense overnight. Here's where things take a dramatic turn. In Pittsburgh, tensions are rising between the Steelers and their star edge rusher T.J. Watt. The 2021 Defensive Player of the Year is entering the final year of the record-breaking contract he signed 3 seasons ago, which at the time made him the highest-paid defensive player in the league. Fast forward to now, and his $28 million annual salary has slipped to 9th among defenders. For a player of Watt's caliber, a perennial All-Pro sack leader and game wrecker, that's not sitting well. While he hasn't said much publicly, the situation is definitely heating up. But let's talk about social media, where the buzz is really heating up. A cryptic Instagram post from T.J. Watt has sparked a wave of speculation, leading to whispers around the league about the state of contract negotiations between him and the Steelers. NFL insider Ian Rappaport couldn't confirm any specific details, but he didn't hold back on his analysis. I think we can safely say that contract negotiations between T.J. Watt and the Steelers are not off to a rip-roaring start, he said. When Rappaport speaks, people pay attention. Earlier this offseason, Atlanta tried to make a move for Myles Garrett but fell short. Now, with Watt potentially available, the opportunity is back on the table, and it might even be bigger. Just imagine T.J. Watt in a Falcons uniform. This isn't just fantasy, it's a real possibility if the front office is willing to act decisively. At 30 years old, Watt remains one of the most dominant edge players in the NFL. Even in what was considered a down year for him in 2024, he still managed to post 11.5 sacks and led the league with 6 forced fumbles. That kind of production would have shattered any recent pass rush standards in Atlanta. Here's an interesting twist. Some have speculated that Kirk Cousins could be part of a deal. The Steelers were loosely connected to Cousins earlier this offseason. Could a quarterback-needy team see him as a short-term solution? Could the Falcons flip Cousins, add some picks, and land Watt? That kind of deal would be complicated and costly. Atlanta would likely need to part with multiple first-round picks, and Cousins might be viewed more as a throw-in than a centerpiece. However, the cap math could work starting next year when the Falcons will have more financial flexibility. It's not an easy path, but it's certainly possible. One thing is clear, the Falcons are not sitting still. If they make a move for Watt, it could mark the most aggressive defensive rebuild in franchise history. So here's the big question for you Falcons fans. Would you trade future first-round picks to land T.J. Watt right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. Go Falcons!